Some people were upset you didn't give an offer to Angel Reese.
Well, like I said, it was a business decision. You know, to me, Angel's I'd rather watch Angel play. But you know, it wasn't
personal.
Unlocking those dollars, to bring her into the league like it would have with Caitlyn.
Have you noticed the numbers? Ice Cube noticed that Caitlin Clark was attracting millions of people and supposedly offered her $5 million to join the Big Three League. Angel Reese was not offered anything there, but this is where things start to go strange. Before she could even think about it, Clark's agents put an end to it. The WNBA is feeling the heat from Ice Cube's power move. Yes, you read correctly. Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark a $5 million deal to join his Big Three League, but why would he make such a huge offer? It's all about those viewership statistics, and Clark's are over the sky.
I know that you recently made a pitch to Caitlin Clark. Does your offer to Caitlin still stand? And do you have a message for her if she's on the fence?
Yes, it does still stand. You know, if she's on the fence, you know, we could talk about anything that's concerning her. I think we will accommodate her in any way, shape, or form, allowing her to play in the WNBA.
Let's examine Clark's extraordinary popularity. Did you realize that her games have over 1 million viewers? That's not just fantastic, but revolutionary. You may be wondering how that compares to the WNBA after Clark's debut season saw broadcast game averages skyrocketing to 1.18 million. Well, get ready for this. Clark isn't just surpassing WNBA numbers, she's shattering them. This is where things get very interesting.
The Big Three has had some success, and I'm going to tell you, the Big Three, before Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, the Big Three was routinely getting bigger ratings than the WNBA. And there's been times I've seen the Big Three get a 700,000 or 800,000 viewership rating for their basketball league.
Crazy, huh? With hundreds of thousands of people tuning in to see Ice Cube's 3-on-1 action, the Big Three League occasionally attracts more viewers than the WNBA.
Ice Cube very expertly and rightfully so believed Caitlin Clark could generate a massive financial impact to his business. Ice
Cube noticed those figures and dollar signs began to flash, and he knew Clark could elevate his league to a new level. However, $5 million for a rookie is unprecedented in women's basketball. After all, Ice Cube noted that WNBA lottery draft picks only receive a base salary of $76,535, so this offer is astronomically large in comparison.
Did you really offer Caitlin Clark all that money?
Yeah, we did. It was a great business decision because if you look at her impact on the game, it was huge TV ratings.
Yeah.
Sponsors were knocking her door down, and the ticket sales went up to so.
Why Clark, then, rather than someone else? Ice Cube didn't hold back when he declared that Clark's star power and ERS ship stats are incredible. It's more important to get people to watch the television and fill the seats than it is to simply have skill on the court.
Ice Cube confirmed the $5 million offer he made to Clark. When asked, he simply replied, quote, "Yeah, we did. The offer was groundbreaking, especially considering the WNBA lottery draft picks earn a base salary of $76,535, which only climbs to $97,582 by their fourth season. The $5 million opportunity seemed like a no-brainer."
But hold on, there's more to this tale. You won't believe what Ice Cube said about the other female basketball star, Caitlin Clark. He was prepared to throw $5 million at her, but when it comes to Angel Reese, he's singing a completely different tune. What's the deal with this $5 million question? And why is Ice Cube's response creating such a stir in the basketball community?
He also says something about Angel Reese, and it's very telling, and it's what everybody with any lick of sense has been trying to tell the mainstream media and everybody that keeps wanting to shoehorn Angel Reese into every Caitlin Clark conversation.
Given that Angel Reese is a self-made superstar with the ability to do highlight reels and the swagger, why didn't Ice Cube give her the same nice contract that he gave Clark? The answer may surprise you.
He just comes out and says, Caitlin Clark got the offer, Angel Reese didn't because Angel Reese doesn't move the needle.
When discussing Rays, Ice Cube didn't mince words. He said bluntly that she doesn't move the needle like Clark does. That may sound harsh, but Ice Cube is discussing business, not trash.
It wasn't personal.
Unlocking those dollars, to bring her into the league like it would have with Caitlin, and that's just how the sponsors was rolling, and that just the reality of the business.
Reese is an incredible player who has skills for days, and you're right, this isn't about who's better on the court. It's about who's drawing in the viewers, filling seats, eating, and purchasing merchandise. Let's break it down. Remember those insane viewership numbers we discussed for Clark? That 1.18 million average viewers? Well, Reese just isn't drawing in that kind of audience. It's not even close.
He explains that while he enjoys watching Reese play, the financial potential wasn't the same.
Oh no, it's all about those eyes on TVs. However, Ice Cube isn't a charity. The Big Three is a company, and companies require viewers in order to thrive. Clark has demonstrated that she can attract those significant audiences. Ice Cube didn't stop there. He really hammered home the point by claiming that Reese's possible deal wasn't unlocking those dollars like it would have with Caitlin. In other words, even though Reese is a baller, she isn't a cash magnet like Clark.
Amen. Ice Cube just kept it real, and he's 100% right. He just said, Caitlin Clark's bringing all the money and all the revenue and all the viewership and all the interest, and Angel Reese ain't got that. She doesn't have it like that.
Reese is a phenomenal player, so this may seem unfair, but in the world of professional sports, it's more important to focus on your ability to contribute to the bottom line than just your skill level on the court.
She would not make the financial impact that Caitlin Clark would have made. We've seen that with everything across the board. Attendance, ratings, revenue, the whole nine. But the media won't let you think that. They won't allow you to think it.
There you have it, then. Ice Cube didn't give Angel Reese $5 million since her audience impact wasn't comparable to Caitlin Clark's. It's business, not personal.
She wouldn't have brought the eyes, the attention, and the impact to the Big Three that we know Caitlin Clark would have brought. Period. Wow. And this is obviously somebody, because they ran the numbers. They know they looked at the trends. They sat down and said,
You're undoubtedly thinking, there's no way she turned that down. But who would? This is where things take a long time to turn around, but it's life-changing money, especially for a novice just starting out. I think she did entertain the offer, but then something strange happened, Ice Cube says, and her agents were hating on it. Can you imagine having a $5 million offer on the table and someone blocking you from even considering it? Ice Cube claims Clark was interested.
We really didn't get great engagement from the offer from their team. I think the agents was hating on it a little bit.
But hold on, it gets even stranger. There seemed to be an imperceptible barrier preventing Ice Cube from approaching Clark or her family to discuss the offer. You may be wondering what could possibly cause someone to decline such a chance, but we'll simply have to wait to find out what transpired.
According to him, her representatives were hesitant and refused to facilitate a meeting between Ice Cube, Clark, or even her parents. Quote, they kind of made a business decision and didn't let us speak to her or her family, he says.
Clark has a huge offer on the table. $5 million is no small sum, particularly for a rookie, but then things start to go strange. Ice Cube claims that he was unable to speak with Clark or her family at all. Can you believe that he is throwing millions of dollars around and he is unable to even get a meeting? It seems like there is an invisible force field surrounding Clark that keeps Ice Cube and his big bucks at bay. You may be wondering why her agents would turn down such a great opportunity, but it all comes down to the big picture. You see, Clark's agents aren't just watching out for her, they have their hands in a lot.
Also have a lot of NBA guys they take millions off of. So the NBA once again stepped in here somehow or influenced this whole thing.
Things get difficult since Clark's agents also represent a number of NBA players. They are concerned about upsetting the NBA in addition to Clark's future. $5 million may seem like a lot, but consider the possibility that it may cost them millions more in NBA deals. These agents have contracts worth tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, with some of the biggest names in basketball. Now that Ice Cube and his Big Three League are trying to shake things up, the NBA might not be pleased at all.
Their agents were probably like, are we going to make the NBA mad? Let her play in the Big Three for a little commission and possibly alienate these $1 million deals we got going? So I think they were like, she's going back to the WNBA.
What do the agents do, then? They play it safe and reject the offer before it even reaches Clark. It's business, not personal, but gosh, it must hurt for Clark to know that a $5 million check bearing your name is there and that you are not allowed to discuss it.
I gotta tell you, the NBA, when it comes to the Big Three, has looked really bad and really petty. It just doesn't make any sense.
You can sense the displeasure in Ice Cube's voice as he discussed it, saying that they sort of made a business choice and wouldn't let us speak to her or her family. He has the money and the opportunity, but he can't even enter the room.
They're not going to piss the NBA off for one player. And so it didn't happen, but we're proud that we made the offer, and hopefully we opened up the minds of, people who run basketball, who are involved in basketball at the highest levels.
You can sense the displeasure in Ice Cube's voice as he discussed it, saying that they sort of made a business choice and wouldn't let us speak to her or her family. He has the money and the opportunity, but he can't even enter the room.